Hello everybody, this is Chaos with Chaos Esports Productions, bringing you tonight's Clan War. We've got two wonderful teams here. We've got Eternal Dreamers and Team Elite duking it out, all tied up, 1-1, spawning in the lower left-hand corner here on Derelict Watcher. It is going to be Eternal Dreamers Krillman. And spawning on the upper right-hand corner for Team Elite, it is going to be Maximus Black. So, very convincing victory by Maximus Black last game. I would say that it wasn't necessarily a build order choice. It was more of just a macro slash defense, well-played defense that he put up that gave him the edge in that game. So we'll have to see whether or not he can continue on his path to glory, as he is the first victory for Team Elite. We'll have to see whether or not he can get himself an all-kill, or if he's going to leave it up to the rest of his team to go ahead and continue this series. So, once again, we have a ZvZ here on Derelict Watcher. We'll have to see whether or not either player is going to go for anything cheeky, as both players are getting themselves up to 15 drones. Spawning pool down for Maximus Black, and it does look like Krillman is going to be going for that hatch first. So we are now seeing a flip in the build order that we saw last game. So Maximus Black is going to be playing a little bit less on the safe side, and we'll have to see whether or not he does choose to go ahead and get his early gas as well. But for now, it does look like Maximus Black is going to be taking his natural, keeping up the macro game. So yeah, so I hope you guys have all been enjoying the stream here. Go ahead and hit that follow button down in the lower left-hand corner. Greatly appreciated. Also, get your friends here. Go ahead and take that link up in the browser. Go to Twitter. Tweet it out to all your friends so everybody can see your team do awesome. And get more people in here so we can be on the top of the Twitch page. That would be awesome. So get that going. Hashtag Chaos Esports Production, or CEP. Now I'm sounding like that one caster who always says hashtag. Okay, I'll stop. Anyways, so Krillman is going to be doing pretty normal build. Going to be going for that early gas to get his speed up as quickly as possible. And he's probably going to be putting out a couple. Wait a second. Okay, never mind. Going to be putting out a couple Zerglings to do a little bit of scouting. Overlords all getting into position. Krillman has confirmation that there is an expansion down for his opponent. A couple Lings are going to get up into the base of Krillman, so definitely a very nice scout coming out of Maximus Black. We take a look at the vision. He's going to see pretty much everything. He sees all of the sees the extractor, sees the natural, sees how things are going. So overall, I'd say nice little scout coming out of Maximus Black. Definitely going to be very beneficial here shortly. Now, he did see the extractor, so he does need to be a little wary. We do have double extractor coming down from Maximus Black now, in a little bit of a response to that. So he's definitely going to be a little bit scared for the time being, just because his speed is going to be significantly behind his opponents, which could potentially be game-ending if Krillman chooses to capitalize on it. Now, it does look like Krillman is going to get in here, and at least I believe he got the scout off on one of the no, he didn't. So he hasn't seen any gas out of his opponent, so he's a little bit leery of that. But Maximus Black going to be playing very similarly to that he did in the last game, going for that Roach Warren as opposed to going for the earlier speed and Baneling. So definitely favoring those Roaches a little bit more than most players. I'd say most players tend to go for the Baneling type style play, but Krillman is going to be going ahead and moving out, seeing if he can get any damage done. It's going to go ahead and leave a couple Banelings behind just in case a couple Zerglings try to get in. And Krillman is actually also going to be going ahead and taking his third. So definitely going to try and get ahead as far as the macro game goes. And get in and do a little bit of a scout now. Really hasn't seen much, just seen the full wall off going up the ramp, and basically at this point just going to be focusing on getting his drone up. So Lair is going to go ahead and come down for Krillman, and actually still yet to be put down for Maximus Black, which is a little bit on the surprising side. Maximus Black feeling a little bit scared as he plants down his Baneling nest, very, very afraid of some type of Baneling Ling bust. So, a lot of units coming out for Maximus Black, so Krillman needs to be a little bit on the careful side. Now, speed is done, so he's in a pretty good position, because obviously he can engage and disengage fairly quickly, but speed is now done for Maximus Black, so now he needs to be very, very careful on how he wants to take this engagement. Obviously, by getting that early expansion, he's focused more on his economy and needs to worry about that expansion getting taken out, as the units are flooding in here. Now, we do have a handful of roaches coming out for Krillman, and units are starting to stream over to that third base. Krillman does have enough lings to be able to fully, maybe not fully engage us, so Krillman has a lot of units here, and it's going to be very, very difficult for him to continue on engaging this. Krillman is definitely going to lose this third if left alone, and Maximus Black realizes how much ahead he is. Some very nice Baneling hits going down, and actually drones are being pulled to put on a little bit of defense, and I think Krillman might actually have just fallen as Banelings are coming in, doing a lot of damage to the drones, and I think Maximus Black has hit a very, very nice timing. Obviously, with the extra greed of Krillman, he just simply didn't have enough, but it is going to be held off for now. So Krillman's, he's definitely a little bit behind. A lot of drones did get killed, but looking at the units tab, the drone count's pretty close. Both players doing a very good job at keeping their economies up, and basically it's all going to boil down to the next engagement, whether or not Maximus Black can get a favorable position. Obviously, he's going to try and get in here and do as much damage to this expansion as possible, but those units are going to get cleaned up, and it looks like Krillman is on the move to take out this force. We'll have to see how the engagement goes. Now, Maximus Black trying to get into a flanking position with these lings. A couple Banelings being morphed in just to go back and worry about any potential Ling run-by. But yeah, Krillman is definitely posturing in such a position that he needs to take this engagement very, very well in order to do anything. And the Baneling almost doing a very, very nice connect. Krillman's going to have a good concave on this, but the third base is going to go down, and actually that could potentially put Krillman significantly behind. Now that the third base has already started for Maximus Black, Maximus Black is going to go ahead and back off, play more of a defensive style for the time being. But I'd say overall, things are definitely looking good for, I don't know, it's pretty even. Looking at the units lost tab, obviously with the loss of that, well, even with the loss of the third base, it does look like Krillman does have a slight resources edge, which is kind of surprising. I would have definitely expected him to be a little bit more behind. This queen is definitely going to get taken out very, very quickly. And actually, there are a lot of roaches coming out here from Krillman. It definitely looks like he's going to be able to engage this very, very nicely. Looks like he's going to try and focus down these Spine Crawlers, as they do extra damage to armored units. But Krillman's trying to get the good engagement, trying to get a nice concave. Maximus Black is trying to hold on, and actually has a pretty decent concave with these lings, so Krillman will need to back off of this, but as the supply difference does show, it does show that Krillman is a little bit ahead. Now, once again, we're kind of into a... Well, no, it's Krillman that's ahead in the upgrade, so a little bit of a flip-flop compared to last game. Last game, Maximus Black had a very, very significant upgrade advantage on his opponent, but as of right now, it looks like Krillman's already got his +1 missile attacks and is already halfway done with his +2, so... obviously, the upgrades of Maximus Black are a little bit behind, but that's just been a function of him being very, very aggressive. Krillman's going to come in here, try and do a little bit of damage, but he knows... Ooh, the nice burrowed roaches are going to surprise Maximus, forcing him to go ahead and back off for the time being. We do have the third base getting up and ready for production. Krillman's trying to bait out his opponent and get himself into a good enough engagement. Does look like he is going to go ahead and back off for the time being. This Overseer is a pretty nice Overseer, as it has seen more or less everything coming out of Krillman, so definitely very, very nice scouting pattern from him. Does need to be a little bit careful not to lose that. So yeah, so at this point, Maximus Black is just droning behind this, trying to get a little bit more ahead. +2 missile attacks is on the way, so he's starting to catch up in the upgrades, but he's still a little bit behind. Now, the +1 carapace is already almost done for Maximus Black, so that's one thing that Krillman has not really focused on, is getting up those extra upgrades. So we'll have to see whether or not he chooses to go ahead and continue that. Now, Hydras are out on the field for Krillman, which will give him a lot more DPS than his opponent. So as long as he can get his Hydra counts up to snuff compared to his opponent, I think he'll be in a very, very good position to do a lot of damage. It does look like Krillman's going to try and sneak in with a handful of roaches. These ones are... let's see, where are they headed? Does look like... I don't know where they're headed. We'll have to see whether or not... oh! They are going to get scouted. I'm not sure how, but... yeah, so handful of roaches is going to be going in at the third and going to try and take out this queen, while Maximus Black is posturing out in the middle of the map. A handful of more roaches going to be coming into the main base and actually going to get a handful of kills probably. Obviously, these roaches are getting a lot of damage done as far as lost mining time. And also going to pick off that queen. Very, very nice. So, yeah, Krillman's doing a very, very good job keeping his opponent at bay. And it looks like he's feeling pretty comfortable to go ahead and move out. He feels comfortable that his Roach Hydra composition will be enough to go ahead and take this game, as both players are just passing each other on. This could turn into a base race. Okay, Krillman's like, maybe I'll back off. And yeah, now Maximus Black looks like he's going to get into a position that he might actually get cornered, as a lot of these units are coming out here. Hydras are doing a lot of damage. Banglings coming in trying to get to the Hydras, but not really getting there. The Banglings are freaking out small portions of these units, but I don't know if he's going to have enough. The DPS of the Hydras are doing a lot, but Krillman's actually backing up a little too much. He needs to be very, very careful to take this engagement well. And it does look like the DPS just isn't enough coming out of Krillman. A couple Banelings are coming in, trying to get some damage done. Drones are being pulled. Wow, it looks like Krillman is really on the back foot, as +1 carapace is showing that it is a very, very effective upgrade in this battle. So, definitely needs to be very, very cautious. A lot of Hydras are at low health, so I'd say that this engagement is definitely going very, very well for Krillman, as supply of Maximus Black is slowly dwindling, as there is a 30 supply deficit, and all of these units are being rallied back. So Krillman knows he's got a little bit of an advantage, but for how long is the question. Obviously, Maximus Black has been doing a pretty good job of keeping up with his larva injects, and that will be kind of the deciding factor in this game. Krillman needs to be very, very cautious on how he takes the engagement. Ooh, we do have a fourth base coming out for both players, but it will all boil down to how the engagement goes. Single roach coming in, trying to get a little bit of extra damage done. But Krillman's maxed out. Where are all his units? I feel like this really isn't that big of a force for what he could have. If we look at the units tab, we can see that he's got 64 drones already out on the field, so I wouldn't say that's too terribly many. He's just very, very roach heavy, so I guess they're a little bit more spread out than he would like. So Krillman's going to be coming in here, doing as much as he can. And we'll have to see whether or not this engagement goes well for him. Krillman's trying to posture and get himself into a good enough position, and actually get up some of these Banelings to make the trade very favorable. Very nice concave coming out for Maximus Black, pushing Krillman back, and this could actually potentially be a very, very nice little engagement for Maximus Black, as he takes out a handful of units for free. I'm still surprised that Maximus Black is behind in supply. I kind of would have thought that his supply would have been a lot higher at this point. Obviously, as we look at the amount of larvae that both players have, Krillman is definitely doing a lot better in the larva count, but The question of the day is will Maximus Black be able to take good enough engagement and be able to reinforce whatever he loses just as quickly as Krillman? So Krillman's going to go ahead and take this engagement, doing a lot of damage. If we look at the upgrades, does look like Krillman is a little bit on the deficit for the upgrades. Some Spine Crawlers coming down, but it does look like the Hydras are going to have just enough DPS to completely overwhelm Maximus Black's army, and it does look like Maximus Black is going to have to go back. +2 carapace is almost finished for Krillman, so the upgrade advantage that Maximus Black has is slowly dwindling, and Maximus Black is going to go ahead and call GG, putting this at 2-1 for Eternal Dream.